absolutely no problems with the fact that Salman Khan got super quick treatment. He got super quick treatment. I mean, this is bullet train speed of the Indian judicial system, which is fantastic, Aryaman Sundaram. It's great. Geeta Luthra, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court, joining me right now. Mrinalini Deshmukh, Senior Advocate here in Mumbai. Thank you very much, Mrinalini, to have you back. Rohit Roy joins me and Nagma joins me. So before we decide to, which way to debate, let me say it's fantastic. It worked out so well for Salman. We are so happy, aren't we, Rohit? Nagma, I'm sure we're delighted. The system worked so beautifully for Salman.
Absolutely.
Such a fantastic speed, right? Beautiful speed.
I don't know whether you're being sarcastic or not, but yeah, we are.
I'm welcoming it. No, I'm not. Why didn't it work at wonderful speed, please? Rohit?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It
great.
absolutely worked at wonderful speed. And I do wish that this kind of speed can be ascertained for everybody else too.
So why doesn't it happen for everyone? Nagma? Why doesn't it happen for everyone?
Well, Arnab, there's no taking away from the fact that by this whole incident, a life was lost and four.
No, I'm not talking. No, one sec. No, not the usual commiserations, please, tonight. My question is, Nagma, I want to ask you, why does it not work at this speed for the Aam Aadmi?
We're all feeling bad, including Salman.
It's not about the industry. I'm least concerned about the Bollywood industry, with the greatest of respect.
Do make mistakes.
I'm sorry, this is not about individual mistakes of Bollywood.
He's made a mistake.
It's not about individual mistakes of Bollywood. I'm asking you about whether it works at this speed for the Aam Aadmi.
It's taken him 13 years.
Does it work at this speed for the Aam Aadmi?
He has made himself to that
what we saw in the last 48 hours.
Good legal assistance,
Arnab.
and so he has the prerogative to take that course.
Okay.
In case if the judiciary allows him, the system allows
so
him
here's
to
a question.
take a recourse for himself, and he's doing that
here's a question
to help
for
himself. I don't think there's anything
No,
wrong
I'm
in
saying
it.
this is so your argument is
Allow him to do so.
Okay, understood. Nagma, just hear this out. It's very logical, right? Your argument is if the man is rich, if he can afford the top lawyers, if he can get the system moving, why blame him for being rich? No problems. Please be rich, afford the best lawyers that you can, right? But I think at some point, I think at some point the point of concern is the process worked with extreme alacrity in the case of Salman Khan. Mrinalini, I have no problems with that. In fact, I welcome it. I'm saying what the court did was fantastic. Worked at a wonderful speed. Some people, poor people standing outside may be surprised that it is working at this speed in this case. But what it tells you, Mrinalini, that if the system wants to work at speed, it can work at speed, right?
Absolutely. That is the message I think we should take
exactly.
it home. Rather than saying whether the laws for the rich or the haves and the...
but a follow-up question to that. Fantastic.
Yes.
So great. So you all agree with me that if the system, Aryaman Sundaram, wants to work at great speed, wants to work with alacrity, it can. For example, in the case of Salman Khan, Aryaman Sundaram, interim relief was given from the Bombay High Court barely 3 hours after his conviction, some 2.5 hours after his conviction,
Absolutely.
right? After his defense presented only the operative parts of the judgment. Now, usual cases, a certified copy of the entire judgment needs to be submitted to the higher court, and this partial submission is virtually unheard of. The time taken, the time taken to access that judge. What's it? The time taken.
Since they did not have
but you tell me what happens in reality, Mrinalini.
That's what happens
in reality. The time taken to access the judgment in certain cases varies from anything between days to weeks to months. Right or wrong? And that if that is the case, then the question is that it moved at a wonderful speed for Salman Khan. Great. Not grudging them that. But why does it not work at the same speed for the Aam Aadmi?
No, maybe they...
What maybe?
This is not right.
What?
Sorry, this is not right. Once you are a convict, at the time of conviction, you have to be given a copy. In fact, that's where I feel there can be some issue joined with Mr. Deshpande, the Sessions Court. He should have had a copy of the judgment available when he is pronouncing it. This is the lacuna which the defense was able to take advantage of.
No, Ms. Luthra, see, what point I'm making is very simple. In this country, our hearts go out to, there are so many people who are under trials who are there. I know of cases, Ms. Luthra, where there is a 19-year-old boy who has been accused of stealing 200 rupees because he has to eat something to survive. That boy goes into jail.
Yes.
Okay, he doesn't get a bail hearing, his bail is rejected. So a 19-year-old boy who steals 200 rupees to survive, His bail is rejected, and when his bail application comes up, he's asked to give 10,000 rupees as bail. 50 times more than what he stole.
I agree with you.
These are real cases in our country.
About this with you. Absolutely agree with you. And I've seen this myself when I've done voluntary work at Tihar jail. This is rampant, and in fact, Justice Lodha, just before retiring, had said such persons should be given bail.
Yes.
He's asked the judges to go to the jails and ensure that they are given bail then and there.
Ms. Luthra.
So there is a problem with the system.
Ms. Luthra, the logic is very simple. You know, the logic is where there is a will, there is a way. There was a will in the court, and I think there was a fantastic will in the court.
I think
Ariman Sundaram, in this case, there was a wonderful will in the court to deal with the Salman Khan case with time. For example, the court remained open till well after 7:30 in the evening. You go and ask anyone outside, they'll say the court shuts at 5 o'clock in the evening. So there was a will in the court. My question to you is, this will, where did it come from? Why does this will not come? Ariman Sundaram, for an Aam Aadmi, why does this will come in this case? Can we be a little honest about what's going on?
Arnab, I do believe that this case is an eye-opener for all of us for two reasons. Number one is that the justice system, and correctly, not incorrectly, but can correctly, following the law, can work at this speed.
If it wants.
It is therefore,
if it wants.
True. An eye-opener to us.
Yeah.
Please allow me to finish. It is an eye-opener to us that if it can work in one such case, why is it not working in so many other cases?
Yeah.
And I think with the media so involved in this, I always say, sometimes what the greatest precedence in this country for the most poorer people has been done because a wealthy person can afford to go to court and get that judgment.
Right.
Let's take the advantage out of this and let us overhaul this entire system, that for everybody it can work like this. Let me give you two examples, if you'll give me a minute. Do you realize how many under trial people there are in this country? You gave an example of a 19-year-old boy.
2.54 lakh.
I can give you equally heart-rending stories.
2.50
I can tell you equally heart-rending stories of people who have actually been in jail, under trial prisoners for a longer period than the sentence would have been if they had been convicted, because nobody knows, they did not know, and it never came up for bail. According to me, we have forgotten somewhere down this line one of the most important criminal law principles, that bail is the rule, jail is an exception.
Sure.
Let's follow that, and let us overhaul the entire system.
Okay.
That everybody who has been in jail for a week, compulsorily his case has to come up before the magistrate, who has to look into the case and take a decision suo motu, without a bail application, whether he should be released.
No, but then,
equally,
you see, Mr. Sundaram, not joining issue with this.
Hold on. But because of that, we cannot fault the judicial system working in one particular case.
No, I'm not faulting. No, one second. No, Ariman Sundaram.
You could work in this case. Now, please work in the remaining cases.
Sundaram, I prefaced this, Mr. Sundaram, by saying that I have no problem. Let Salman Khan feel very happy tonight. But I want Salman Khan to now start a national campaign against the injustice that is meted out.
I think so. I agree with you.
If there is one person today,
Salman Khan
must
not just Salman Khan, but you, other media houses, every right-thinking person, all lawyers, I believe everybody.
Yes.
I'm very happy about what happened today, but I say, look, because of what we can do, let's do it for everybody.
Yeah, but what I find offensive. What I find offensive. No, I will not mince my words on this, Ariman Sundaram. What I find offensive is this blasé, have it or leave it kind of response. So what? If he used his resources, so what? He had the money, so what? He could pay the lawyers, so what? It's fine, he's rich, so what? Are you grudging him that? I'm sorry, no, Ariman Sundaram. That, which was the initial response of Rohit Roy, that response. No, Mr. Ariman Sundaram, let us call a spade a spade. That view, which says, so what, he's rich, so what, we're the rich boys club, so what, you grudge the fact that we have big lawyers. Nobody grudges you, but don't have a tinted glass view of your own country. Ujjwal Nigam, do you agree? You cannot have a tinted glass view of your own country. Put yourself up behind those tinted glasses and say, Rich Boys Club can exist inside the tinted glasses. And those who are not part of the Rich Boys Club, sorry, live in the real India. We live in the unreal India. Because what happens to a minority of people in this country is an unreal India. And Ujjwal Nigam spoke openly about this earlier today. In a few minutes, I'll be joined by Lady Neelam Katara, who's been fighting for her 24-year-old son who was murdered by the son of influential mafia dom politician DP Yadav. She will tell us tonight how difficult it is for the Aam Aadmi. Ujjwal Nigam, you spoke up on it tonight. Now another example. In the case of Salman, in a matter of few hours after the High Court asked him to submit a fresh bond in the morning, the fresh bond is executed. Salman makes a personal appearance and the nitty-gritties have been handled. Now Ujjwal Nigam, the norm I am told is that this procedure can take days sometimes. In the case of Salman, the trial took 13 years. Within 3 days, the matter went from the lower court to the higher court to the lower court. The norm is, at least this is the convention, not the rule, that this whole procedure can take weeks to years if required. And that's the agony that the Aam Aadmi goes through. So I say tonight, Ujjwal Nigam, it's not about Salman Khan, it's about the inequity of our system, the inherent injustice of our system. Ujjwal Nigam.
Yeah, absolutely, Arnab. I do agree with you. But this is a pathetic story in our country that the person who are having the money power and the muscle power, they are the best person to get the justice, to retrieve the justice immediately. That is a pathetic story. But that doesn't mean that justice is bow down to them or judiciary is partial to them. But they can do and they can manage all these things for the two reasons. Say, firstly, they can hire the best services of the best legal brain. Secondly, they can have the manpower, so they can take immediate urgent step. I would like to give a simple illustration. Unfortunately, the judicial system, as presently, what has happened in the present case also, that Salman could not get the certified copy of the judgment of order of conviction and sentence, and naturally he was supposed to get it, but unfortunately he didn't get it, or fortunately didn't get it for him. So immediately he approached to the High Court.
Exactly, that's the point I'm making.
And the eminent lawyer coming from the Delhi, camping in Mumbai, and now today what has happened? That eminent lawyer went again back to Delhi. So what? So if suppose in case if High Court gives an other order against him, then certainly that
we can't presume that. I don't want to make that presumption, so let's not go there. Yeah.
So no, because I would like to say no. These things can happen because of the money power and the status. So this is Sundaram Khan, my friend Mr. Sundaram can't deny this fact, but this is a pathetic story, a common level.
No, he actually agrees with you, Mr. Sundaram.
Natural instinct query that arises in the mind of a common man.
Misunderstood by you, Mr. Nigam.
No, Mr. Nikam, Mr. Sundaram is clarifying something. Please hear him. Please hear him. He's saying something to you, Mr. Ariman Sundaram is saying something to you, Ujjwal.
Mr. Nigam, either I was not clear enough or I'm afraid you tuned in a bit late. Far from saying that, I'm saying this case should be an eye-opener for us as to how the justice system should work for everybody across the board. And I am saying we need, as lawyers, as media, as everybody, we need to overhaul the system to ensure that every under-trial person who's incarcerated, his case comes up automatically before court, which has to review whether itself, without having to bring a lawyer or otherwise, whether he should be given bail or otherwise. So let's use this case to advantage and say, look, the system can work if you make it work.
Yes, we should. We should use it. We should. But you know why, Rohit? I hope you understand where I'm coming from tonight. Because Rohit Roy, tonight, there are a lot of people. Please put yourself, suppose Rohit and Nagma, and I put this question with all sincerity to both of you. Suppose both of you were not in the positions which you are. Suppose you did not have the fame or wealth which both of you have. It's not a personal remark, that remark is just generally meant. And suppose you were on the wrong side, of a law in one case where you felt that you deserved to get bail. But you were not in a position to, get a top lawyer, get a top legal firm, get the help, get the system working, and then you would just spend half your life fighting small battles in court. And therefore tonight, Rohit and Nagma, what I'm coming from is that a lot of viewers tonight will be watching this and saying, getting actually depressed, There will be people tonight who cannot, I'm being very frank about it, who tomorrow can't call up Aryaman Sundaram or a Mrinalini Deshmukh, for example, and say, we want you to fight a case. There will be people who will be afraid, Mr. Sundaram and Mrinalini Deshmukh, of seeking an appointment with you. You know, my question tonight is what happens to those people? They will say, where will we go?
Well,
Where will the system leave us?
well,
Because because...
But Arnab, this is
there's
a
no
problem with
No,
the
Rohit,
system.
you understand what I'm saying.
This is the problem with our
Arnab,
system.
Yeah,
Arnab, you're
Ms.
right.
Rohit.
Can I just give an answer to you?
I do get what you're saying, and I feel you.
Help all of us discuss this. Can I just cut in here for a second, Arnab? I think what we have to understand as a country, as people, the judiciary has to understand, the lawyers have to understand, we all must understand. Look, if there is a flaw in the system should take care of itself. We have to evolve a system where every such case automatically comes under review every week. That such people's cases, whether they are represented by lawyers or not, it is the mandate of the court
But does
to
it-
consider these cases.
Sir,
These cases must
sir,
be
please
placed
hear
before
me.
the court.
Mr.
We have
Sundaram,
to
Mr.
evolve the
Sundaram,
system.
I wish,
This is
Mr.
a huge eye-opener.
Mr. Sundaram, I know, for example, I can speak for you. You pick up many cases which are worthy cases and you fight for them pro bono. I'm aware of that. But that's not what I'm talking about tonight, Mr. Sundaram. What I'm saying tonight is what the courts can do, what the judicial system can do. You know, I'll tell you, Rohit, I'm sorry to interrupt you there. In the case of Salman Khan, another fantastic thing happened, which for an average person will almost be magical in the system. A new appeal is admitted on the last day and order is passed immediately. You know, this, you ask any person who goes and, tries to, a new appeal is admitted on the last day before vacation and the order is passed immediately. The norm is, I am told, that on the last day before the High Court breaks for vacation, very rarely is a new case ever admitted. And a date of appeals hearing commencing announced. Ms. Luthra?
No, this is not necessarily true. I don't quite
You don't agree with
this.
that?
New appeals are mentioned, no. New appeals are mentioned, there's urgency, they are taken up the same day.
But it's a rarity.
Perhaps the one aspect...
No, it's a rarity. You admit it's a rarity?
It's not no.
Ujjwal Nigam is saying something?
No, you can mention it and the court
Arnab, it's probably
may
a
take it
rarity,
up.
but it's not
and
impossible.
And very likely they would take it up.
No, you see...
No, this is not true. It happens. The question then would be, would the court take it up and give an interim order?
That's the point.
That's
the point.
That's the point.
No,
Or would
so-
the
no,
court
that's-
take
that's-
it up
that's- that's the
immediately
point.
It's not
and make a
how
final
many
suspension
matters
order?
that we mention
But
do
it
get
does
listed
happen.
is the question.
No, what's
Yes.
Mrinalini is adding to you, Ms.
I'm
Luthra.
saying, Geeta, what you're saying is absolutely right.
Yes.
But how many matters that we mention
Yeah.
do get listed or do get heard, especially on the last day? You and I know that because we always rush to the courts because of certain situations which are there. I think that's what the moot point is.
Yeah.
And this is not about the judiciary. This is not about the courts. I think this is about the infrastructure which is there. The volume is enormous. We do
Yes.
not have that
No.
much kind of
The
an-
volume was there today
No,
also. I'm
no.
sorry. If you tell me volume is enormous,
You
was
have
there
to
no?
give them
No.
some
One
reason why.
second. What's a
We are
reason?
not trying to say the courts are not willing
Reason-
to do
no,
it. Of
I'm
course,
not-
they are more than willing to. Do you know?
No.
There are certain judges
No. I'm not talking of certain judges. I am saying the volume existed today also. Let's be very clear here. I'm
Yes.
not saying Salman got special deal. I'm actually
Right.
saying the rest of India is being treated unfairly. There's a slight distinction between the two. Rohit, you were saying something there. In the context of the way we presented this particular issue, what would you like to say? There is an inherent injustice, don't you think?
Yeah. Arnab, I want to say something before I say anything about it. I feel that the discussion we are doing is as old as the hills.
No, absolutely
I mean, it is
not.
a given fact that certain people will have access to a few,
What?
I'll have access to somebody that maybe you don't have.
No,
And
so
it's-
tell me
it's
one thing.
normal. I mean,
No,
why
one
are we
sec.
making
One sec.
such a big deal about it?
No, one sec. Don't.
What does that mean?
You are giving a Marie
What does
Antoinette
that
kind of
mean? That's a very
argument.
dangerous statement to
This
make.
is a very dangerous
Absolutely
state.
dangerous.
This is that Marie Antoinette kind of super elitist out of the
Don't
out
get
of reality
led.
tinted
Why
glass
don't
view
they-
of the world,
Yeah.
Rohit. I'm sorry to say this. In fact, I think the argument
No,
that
no,
you're
no.
putting out is both
This is-
contemptuous
no, this
and
is the real-
patronizing.
No,
What
Arnab,
you're saying
this
is
is the
contemptuous
real-
and patronizing. And what you're saying tonight is
No,
that
sir,
so
I'm not
what?
trying to be patronizing.
Of course you are
I'm saying this is the
What?
reality of life.
No, don't tell me the reality of life. There's
started
something called the
saying that that
Constitution
should
of
be
India.
asserted
Who
for
says
all
it's the
the
reality
cases,
of life?
but that does
Who
not
says
happen.
it's the reality of life, Rohit Roy? Who says it's the reality of life? I'll tell you what the reality of life is, Rohit.
I'm saying what you just said.
A boy
I
who
don't
stole...
have access to
Rohit Roy, listen to me. Be fair tonight. A boy who stole 200 rupees... A boy who stole 200 rupees is kept in jail for 12 months, is denied bail, even before his conviction, whose sentence would usually carry 3 months. You steal 200 rupees, maximum you can go 3 months in a very harsh setup.
That's what
you
I'm
keep
saying.
that boy in jail.
I'm agreeing with you.
No, so don't tell me. Don't tell me today, Rohit Roy.
You're not listening
what
to me.
What you're saying is effectively Aryaman Sundaram was respond to you. No, Aryaman Sundaram was
He does not have access to the good guys.
Well, you cannot. Justice cannot be. Justice is not relative to whether you get a good guy on your side. I'd like Geeta Luthra and first before that Aryaman Sundaram to respond to it. So it's not between you and me.
No,
Aryaman Sundaram was saying something.
Mr. Sundaram, all I was saying, Mr. Sundaram, I was saying that this young kid should have had access to a lawyer who would have then got him bail, is what I'm saying.
No, you can't. Mr. Sundaram.
Look, the point, Arnab, the entire issue is this. I have always felt that in this country, the absolute immediate response occurs when something really strikes a court as in public interest. As for example, Arnab, if tomorrow there's going to be a slum which is being gutted and you on television just show it tomorrow and the judges become aware of this and the case is in front of them, they are ready to deal with it. Equally, if somebody else who has a problem and who, I must say, has the means to be able to get the lawyers to act quickly with alacrity, get into court and place it before the court is ready to act. We have this gap. This big gap between the person who's not able to. Let me tell you, the poorest of the man, if his is a very story of abject suffering and you tomorrow were to bring it to the notice of the entire country, he will get justice immediately because it's come to the notice of the courts. Equally, unfortunately, the people who can really afford it are able to bring their case to the notice of the court. And we have this vast middle class which you're talking about, which is not able to do so. And it's a reality, let us accept it, and therefore let us deal with it.
Yes.
And now let us say, if the justice system can work so fast, please, judiciary, please, the legal fraternity, please all of you, evolve a system by which everybody will get the same justice because you have proved today it can be done. So please evolve the system for everybody.
Mr. Sundaram,
and that is where we should go. Not sit and justify it and say,
Miss Luthra,
that is not the answer.
Now, Miss Luthra, before I come to you, I want to just share one example with your permission, ma'am. You know, there is a case in 1973, one second, 42 years back, right? 1973, a DTC conductor on a bus in Delhi charges a woman 10 paisa instead of 15 paisa on a bus to Mayapuri. Okay, that man is chased by the 1,000 crore loss-making government organization for 41 years. For 41 years, he's chased by the system. The High Court will now hear the petition of that man. So my point is, common man in this country has had to go to jail for accepting a bribe for 50 rupees. 17 years after a person took a bribe for 50 rupees, he goes to jail. He should. I said this morning, a person should go to jail if required, even for a 1 rupee bribe. But this is the contrast in our system. Will we not have the honesty to speak about it tonight, Ms. Luthra?
You're absolutely right. See, the first thing is, personal liberty is treated in a cavalier manner for the common man. This is not untrue. So it is the person who, there is a theory in criminology which says the person with the long legs is not the criminal because he's able to run away. Now the problem here is that if you come even for an under trial for a bail, it may take 6 to 8 months. In some cases he may get interim bail and then he's happy. In some cases just the hearing may go on from time to time. There is this anomaly and we can't hide the fact that there is an anomaly. But having said that, the fact that in Sanjay, in this case, in Salman's case, he's got bail is quite another issue because the courts have held that, you know, if it's 5 years...
It's not about what they have held. It's about the time taken and the manner in... 1 second. Ujjwal Nikam countering you, ma'am.
No, but there are cases.
Ms. Luthra, Ujjwal Nikam...
There would be identical cases too.
Okay, Ujjwal Nikam wants to counter you.
You have
Ma'am, Ujjwal Nikam wants to counter you. I am just saying there's the same law, but different yardstick in different cases. Yes, please. Ujjwal Nikam.
That's right. Arnab, I would like to divulge another pathetic part of our legal system. If a poor common man who has no sufficient means to engage a lawyer, then we have the provision about providing a lawyer at the cost of the state government expenses. That is what we call as a legal aid assistant. But who are those lawyers who are on the panel? They are the very junior category of lawyers, and they are getting very meager fees in comparison with the senior counsel. I would like to pose a simple question to Mr. Sundaram also at this stage, that whether he would like to accept a brief of a common man on behalf of the legal aid panel. No, certainly he would say no, or he may say today also yes. But my experience is most of the eminent lawyers, they when talk about the common man, then talk.
Mr.
No,
Nikam,
you may be perhaps, I know.
Stop right there,
you,
sir.
But
you
here
are
is the,
talking
Mr.
to the
Sundaram,
wrong man.
Please listen. Please.
If you ask any lawyer, they will tell
Sundaram,
you that
I'm
if there's a matter
I'm
where
giving an illustration, Mr. Sundaram. Vast majority of my personal experience that eminent lawyers won't like to appear on behalf of the common man from the legal aid panel. That is a very pathetic part. So I will blame the legal our system. So we have to improve the system. Why not a good lawyer to be given from the legal panel to a common man? That is the story. And therefore now we are feeling how Salman retrieved the justice at the earliest point of time. Whether because of the money power, whether it is because of his celebrity status, all these queries are dwelling in the mind of a common man. And perhaps this dwelling in the common mind, that would have an advanced, I must tell you, because the stability of nation depends upon two major factors.
Ujjwal Nikam, I now want to bring...
of the common man in the judiciary and absolute faith of the common man in the currency of that nation.
Ujjwal Nikam, I want to bring Rohit Roy back into the debate. But before that,
one moment.
Okay, I'll let Ariman Sundaram respond to that. Go ahead. Because the comment was made specifically at you. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, while I do take a little bit of umbrage as Mr. Nikam pointing me as an example, when I'm the last person anyone would say would refuse a matter when a poor man requires it. On the contrary, I'm the first to say yes. I think I do subscribe to his theory that every senior lawyer, every lawyer should say that, look, I devote this much of my time to legal aid work. And I agree with you there, sir. And let me tell you, I've also said that it is the duty of every senior lawyer, including, I'm telling you, I've even said it's the duty of every senior lawyer to spare some time to go and lecture, even in law, in government law colleges and others to say that. All these are very, very idealistic, sir, and I hope it happens.
Well,
but now let's
some...
address the question before us. How is
it is not happening. It is not happening.
Able to get his case taken up immediately? And how is it somebody else is not? And that is the question which we are really facing today.
Well, you know, I gave 7 reasons today why the process worked with extreme alacrity in the case of Salman Khan. And viewers, let me get it very clear. This is not about Salman Khan. I wouldn't waste so much time discussing this about one individual. He may be a reigning superstar. It's about the injustice in the system, and nobody has seen that closer than Neelam Katara, who joins me now. Someone who I have tremendous personal admiration for her fortitude, for her strength, for the way she fought after her son and is still fighting. Neelam Katara ji, I hope you can hear me, Neelam ji, still fighting. After her son at the age of 24 was murdered by Vikas Yadav, son of influential mafia don, criminal politician, whatever you can call him, DP Yadav. Now, Neelam Katara, can you hear me? There's Rohit Roy in the debate, and I want to bring Rohit into this debate.
Yes, I can hear you.
Though the intention is not to pit one person against the other, but to get both sides of the debate. So Rohit, don't get me wrong. I want you to reason your point with Neelam Katara and also gain from her experience, Rohit. So Rohit Roy, who's an actor, well-meaning no doubt, said that the reality of life, he said, accept the reality of life that some people will be able to afford rich lawyers, expensive lawyers and top legal firms and etc., and some people won't. He said this is the oldest argument that you are putting out, because I feel there is an inherent injustice in that, in accepting the fact that some people who can get that kind of legal service should get the system to respond to them differently. I'm not accusing the legal system of bias. I'm saying it responds differently to those people. Rohit Roy says, and there are some people whose views he represents, who says, listen, don't complain too much. That's the reality. Accept it and move on. What would you say to the perspective of that has been put by Rohit Roy, Neelam Katara, from your own experience?
No, but that's not what I said, Arnab.
Very elitist perspective.
Listen to Neelam Katara.
Perspective would change.
Don't have access.
If this perspective would change, God forbid, if somebody from his family, somebody dear to him, was run over by a drunken actor driving,
Absolutely.
things would change immediately. Yes. So maybe this is the reality. We need the reality to change.
I agree.
And
My
you
perspective
can't
is still
call
the same,
a person good and kind and noble who is taking advantage of these differences. We are a social democratic republic, or so the Constitution says.
Rohit, it's about equality. Understood? The point is, it's
Arnab,
about
are you going to
equality.
let me speak, or do you want me just to
No,
listen
you
to
can
points?
respond to her. Respond
Yes.
to her directly, please. No, I'm not holding you back. Go ahead, speak.
You're not letting me speak.
I'm letting you speak.
No, I
Please
don't
speak.
want to respond. I want to tell you something, Arnab. Arnab, what I feel is that absolutely, I'm absolutely in agreement with to what you've said, what Mr. Sundaram has said, and what Neelamji is saying. I have never said anything about the victim because you haven't asked me. My point is that I was just pointing out that this debate is a little ridiculous at this point because people are just talking about it. Nobody really does it. What Mr. Sundaram just said, if that could happen, it would be fantastic. And let me tell you,
Sorry, I'm not as cynical as you are.
I'm not a star or anything like
I'm
that.
not a cynic
just
like
not an
you.
actor. If tomorrow something like that.
Rohit, you may be a cynic. I'm not.
No, it hasn't happened. I'm great.
It happened. You didn't see it happening last 24 hours in the case of Salman Khan.
Throwing these kind of words
I thought
at me.
today, no, Rohit, what do you mean it didn't happen?
I am
Last
seeing
48 hours, we have seen the system work for Salman Khan. What I'm saying is the system should work for all. Ujjwal Nigam, did we not see the system work for Salman Khan?
That's what I said, that I hope they are certain it works for the common man.
No, the question is it should work for the common man if it works for Salman Khan, right?
Started or no?
Yeah.
That's the point, right? No, Ms. Luthra.
Absolutely.
We have always Rohit. Once Neelam Katara is responding. Neelam Katara is responding to you, please. 1 second, Neelam Katara.
About the system working, and Mr. Nigam is here, and with all respect to all the lawyers over here, all the counsels over here, I mean, I wasn't inside, but when I heard the way the prosecution was behaving, I don't think they were even trying. I don't know why. I mean, I've had to have prosecutors changed in my case and finally spend a lot of money in keeping a private lawyer because the prosecutors could be brought over or whatever. The prosecution was so weak that even a lay person could answer some of the questions, what we heard outside. I mean, it's shocking when something like this happens, that the defense gets the best of lawyers from across the country, and the prosecution, who are also sometimes very good, but why should they just hang their hands and not do a thing? I think it was very sad.
You saw it yourself in your case, Neelam?
I think...
Yes, Ms. Luthra. Yes, Ms. Luthra.
I think, Neelam, in this case,
morning.
that may not be absolutely right.
No reply.
Yes, Ms. Luthra. But let's hear from Ms. Luthra.
I think the court raised these issues as a ground for giving bail. I don't think, and the answers to those issues were in the trial court judgment. I think the court just said that because there was this issue of 304 Part 2, and in other cases there had been 304 Part A, rash and negligent driving, and the second fact that there was an appeal pending. Now, the only question that I think we could address is, do we use the same alacrity in other cases, and should we? And the answer is, of course, we should, because the first thing is that while an appeal is pending, if the conviction is
one second. Ms. Luthra,
for death,
Ms.
should we
Luthra,
consider bail?
Ms. Luthra, you know where I am coming from. Can I tell you something where I am coming from? I am coming from 2 days in the lives of two people. Let's say tonight there is Neelam Katara in front of me. And over the last decade that I have had the honor and privilege of knowing Neelam Katara, I know what she's been through. One day, Neelam Katara may remember today, she called me one day and she spoke about how Vikas Yadav was staying, I don't know if you remember, in the luxury room of a hospital, saying I have backache and cough. You remember that, ma'am?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying tonight is,
Absolutely.
Since what they tell me, my question tonight is, let's say a day in the life of two individuals in independent India. a day in the life of two equal citizens in independent India. Equal rights. One citizen is Neelam Katara. Other citizen is Salman Khan. Now let's compare a day in the life in the court, a day in the life in court for Neelam Katara as opposed to a day in life in court for Salman Khan. Neelamji, you tell me tonight what has been your experience in the court. Speak up tonight, there are a lot of people watching you. What was your experience? Tell us your experiences.
I mean, first of all, I've got used to it now, so I really don't bother about it. But first time, of course, it was like I walked into 30,000 and I was just sort of driven with the tide. But all throughout, I mean, you have to just forget that you have a job, you have a family, you have social engagements, because you don't come in like like the rich people when everything is ready. I mean, I've seen in my case the opponent, somebody keeping a seat for them and them walking in, opening the door. Here you come in the morning, you take off from your work, and then you somewhere in the trial court, somewhere in the afternoon, you're told that maybe somebody's throat is bad, so it won't be heard in the morning, it will be heard in the afternoon. So now you don't know whether you go back to work or sit, and then you sit again the whole day, and then again you wait, and sometimes it's heard, sometimes there's an adjournment. So it goes on and on and on. And this has been 13 and a half years. I'm still, in spite of that, I'm grateful to the court, because at least they are inside. But short of making a room outside Tihar jail, I have done everything. I mean, there is just no stopping these people from going to AIIMS, and I am ashamed to say All India Institute is such a big entity, because all the VIPs go there, so they can do just about anything. They even refuse to give data in response to RTI applications. So this is what an educated person like me faces. This is how difficult it is for me. Look at those poor people, just look at those poor people. They're asking for money because, and people say, see, kitne achhe log hain, they're saying we don't want Salman to go to jail, we want money. We are making fun of their poverty.
Sir, you hear that, Rohit? You heard that, Rohit? So that's the problem, you see? You can't say it's the reality of India, Rohit.
That is the problem.
You accept it, right?
That is a problem, but that's also our reality, is what I was saying. I am not with it. Of course I do. Of course I do.
You know something, Rohit? Last month, 2 people were convicted for a period of 3 years imprisonment and a fine of 10,000 rupees for taking a bribe of 100 rupees 24 years back. And what is worse, can I tell you one more thing in this? The main accused in the case has died. That is the speed.
Yeah.
Now, both the bribe taker and the bribe giver in this case will say, what is the point? What kind of legal system is this? Should we be so squeamish today that we wear kid gloves about the legal system and don't speak against it? You speak against countries, politicians doing mistakes, bureaucracy doing mistakes. Should there be today, should the Indian media have their hands up in chains today? You can't speak about what's going wrong in the Indian judicial system. In fact, I say this case has particularly opened those can of worms. It's opened up the can of worms.
No, Arnab, but in the same breath, you must realize that there are high courts and supreme courts who suo moto take up issues. They read about it or they see about it as a public interest litigation and come to the rescue of that. So you cannot turn a blind eye to it.
Nobody's turning a blind eye.
What you are saying makes sense. What you are saying makes a lot of sense. This is the harsh reality, the ugly reality, if I may put it in simpler words. But at the same time, we cannot say that the judiciary is absolutely. I mean,
okay. Can I give you another example? I want to talk about this whole system. We have 5 minutes remaining on the debate. Ariman Sundaram, as I was researching for this Geeta Luthra, some incredible cases came to my mind. Now, 30,000 rupees. Geeta Luthra is nothing for Salman Khan to furnish his bail bond despite being proven guilty, right? Now, I want you to consider the case of a poor Uttar Pradesh postman, Umakant Mishra, against whom an FIR was filed in July 1984 for allegedly pocketing a money order for 57 rupees 60 paisa. 57 rupees 60 paisa money order apparently the man pocketed in 1984. He attended 350 court hearings. And after 350 court hearings, story doesn't end there. After 350 court hearings, he got acquitted. What happens to that man? You know, Geeta Luthra, Ariman Sundaram, the man's life is behind him.
Absolutely.
He's crippled. Who funds his
And
fight?
not only that, he must have been inside for a while before he got bailed, before he got acquitted. You're absolutely right. And one of the things which we have to put our system into order is where and what stage do we grant bail? What is the cost of personal liberty? And should it be bail, not jail, for these at least under trials before their conviction? Again, I'm not talking of Salman's case. We are talking of all those lakhs of people who are under trials for reasons because they don't have money to furnish bail bonds.
That's the point. That is precisely the point. Yes, Mr. Sundaram, that's the point. That's where I started. I said it's not about Salman Khan, it's about inequity.
I'll tell you, you needn't go that far. Arnab, you need not go that far. Just go to any jail today. Go to Tihar, go to any jail. Find out how many of them are there because they've not been able to furnish a bail bond. Find out how many of them are there because their cases, they've just not been able to move for bail.
More than half.
It is a heart-rending story.
Yeah.
This is why I keep saying we have somewhere along the way forgotten that our old adage, which used to be bail is the rule, jail is an exception. Yeah. Unless a person has committed a crime so heinous that he is a menace to society, going to interfere with obstruction of, or obstruct justice, or it is otherwise going to be such that he's going to abscond and never appear, please give all these under trials bail. Because let me tell you, for every rich man who you feel should not have got bail, I'll tell you there are 1 lakh poor people who should get bail.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, what does happen is the other way around, because the rich man is able to go to court and present his case, and the very same case which deserves bail, I'm not saying he doesn't deserve bail, he deserves the bail. But 1 lakh people who are able to present their case in court.
But why does the system have... But I don't understand. Why does the system have all the time...
Please give bail.
But why does the system... Mr. Sundaram... Mr. Sundaram, why does the system...
The police inspector will fight for the incarceration of this poor man. The same police inspector will not fight for the incarceration of somebody else. The system is so rotten there. You see, the judges, the court, before whom the case is, when they see the case, they are more than happy to deal with it as per the well-known parameters. But it never gets there because half the time you have the policeman who says this poor chap whose maximum sentence is 3 years, and you'll find him languishing in jail for 2 years before his trial comes up.
Yeah.
It is a most unfortunate system what is followed. We have to follow the old system. Bail is a rule. Jail is an exception. Unless you find it.
But for everyone.
He will.
But for everyone, not just for Salman Khan. For everyone.
Must be for everyone. Must be for everyone, and the rule must be such that automatically the police, the prosecutor should say, this is a case where none of these fits in. He's not a menace to society. He's not this. Please give bail. And you can dispose of 100 bail applications within an hour if only the prosecution was fair.
Depending on the offence, of course.
There is something which is certainly rotten in the state of Denmark.
See, when we know that the prosecution is not fair, then the court has to step in and look there also. You can't just put the blame on the police.
I agree with you.
You know,
of course,
I agree with you.
Of course, that is Miss Luthra. Miss Luthra.
We have to evolve a system where the case automatically comes up before court. Every under trial case must be there before court.
Totally agree with you on that also, because in this particular case, I mean, for God's sake, and that's going to be a debate at 9 p.m., there is a man who's inside the car with Salman who just disappears and is never seen. I mean, the judicial system must then ask that if this man was inside the car, why is Kamal Khan's name off the list of witnesses? There's no common sense which explains that. You can't blame the prosecution, because the moment you ask the prosecution, they'll say, it's our discretion, not your problem. So you see, there are so many loopholes. So what's happening now is the gaze of public scrutiny and the media is now coming close on that. And I'm grateful that lawyers like you and others are coming in, because I don't feel the law is only for the rich. I'm sorry to say, in the presence of so many lawyers, the law also can't be just for lawyers. And so it has to work for the common man. To everyone tonight, especially to Neelam Katara, who joined me today. And Rohit, I hope you get where we are coming from. I said it's not about Salman. A lot of people calling newsrooms today saying don't go after Salman Khan. It doesn't matter. Absolutely. Salman Khan is not the issue. It's peripheral to the issue. But it exposes the way in which the system responded to Salman Khan, exposes the fact that if it wants to, it can.
It can work.
Those typewriters can work.
Absolutely.
The courtrooms can be kept open. Thank you very much for joining me on this chat on the News Hour tonight.